Thank you for joining us for Mornings with Mark, our podcast featuring the topics important to gas operations.
In this episode, we'll talk about the Northern Boulevard incident, what we did well, what we can do better, and why Psms isn't as complicated as it sounds.
So good morning, Christian, and welcome to Gas Operations' first podcast of 2019.
Good morning, Mark. Thanks for having me.
All right, so you are the subject matter expert for pipeline safety management systems. So our objective today is to have a discussion to take the veil away from what pipeline safety management is and convey to folks what we're talking about. So I'll start off with a softball question for you because you are the SME, right?
All right. Thank you, Mark.
So what is a pipeline safety management system in big picture in layman's terms?
Okay, so the first thing, pipeline safety management system is not a technology, is not a device. It's a framework on how to manage your business effectively and efficiently. Nothing more, nothing less. That's the definition of a management system. Pipeline safety management, that correlates to a framework on how to run your gas business.
If I'm a mechanic in the field or a supervisor or an engineer or a manager, what's the thought of a pipeline safety management system really mean for me as an individual? Does it change what I do? Does it change how I do it? Can you shed a little light on that?
So perfect example, if you're a supervisor in the field, right, you work with your planner, you plan the work, then you give the work to the mechanics, and the mechanics do the work. There's a checking piece where you go to the field, you check on your crews, check on the paperwork, and any adjustments that have to be made either to the current work or to the future work to continuously improve this process. We do that already. So Plan, Do, Check, Act, PDCA.
So Christian, you mentioned that the pipeline safety management system that's really been established for the industry, and it comes from a standard that was a collaborative effort across both the natural gas industry and the liquid petroleum industry. That's the standard that we're working to conform to and emulate and use as a really a Bible of best practices, and then apply that Plan, Do, Check, Act cycle to continually improve. So given that it's 10 elements and it ranges from emergency response and distribution integrity management to external stakeholder outreach and education, what are folks already doing that check the boxes on their piece of the elements that make up the system that we call pipeline safety management?
So one of them, right, documentation and record keeping, right? Every job we do as-built, we do main valve reports, we submit it to the Maps and Records group. That's some of the requirements that feeds the documentation and record keeping element of pipeline safety management. Training, right? We have operator qualifications, we have the learning center, we have the supervisor excellence program. In terms of operational controls, the way we engage the contractors, having business safety meetings, X-Files meetings, that not only touches on operational controls, but also talks about stakeholder engagement to make sure that we're discussing issues, we're addressing safety concerns, and we are improving our performance.
So Christian, let's get down to brass tacks and let's talk about why implementing a pipeline safety management system makes us better, makes a difference. So how does all this effort to implement pipeline safety management improve our response to an event like the one on Northern Boulevard in January? How does it improve our response, or how does it improve our reaction to the event?
All right, excellent question, Mark. First, what I would say with the response to Northern Boulevard, it was a tremendous effort by the organization, right? We all came together, it was a Friday afternoon, and nobody was left behind. So in terms of the response, we are industry leading, and we
demonstrated it again, right?
Yes, and we demonstrated it again. But what I would say with pipeline safety management system, one of the things that we have is the incident investigation best practices, how to have a deliberate approach in looking at the event and finding what processes we can improve. So we assembled a cross-functional team, people that were actually there the day of the incident, and also having folks in engineering, compliance, and operations, and looking at each step of the process, whether you're reporting gas loss release to the federal regulators, or you're operating a main valve. We're getting all these SMEs in the room and fostering a positive culture to discuss about it and what can we learn from it for the next incident.
Hey, that makes a lot of sense, and I think that will help people put this in perspective. Emergency response, we're top flight in the industry. No surprise our response here was great again. But the aspect of a really deliberate, thorough, comprehensive, cross-functional review to make sure we extract everything we can to make us better in the future, that's what this is about, to make sure we're firing on all cylinders, all 10 elements, and be the best that we can be. So really great example. What else are we going to do this year to make sure that we've done that effectively?
And there's two efforts going on simultaneously. One of them is we're engaging with the author of the standard to come this fall and review our management system. They're also creating a pilot program to do these voluntary assessments across the industry. We'll be one of the first utilities to do that with them. And we're also participating in the NGA working group, and the NGA, the Northeast Gas Association. 15 utilities came together, want to work together to implement a pipeline safety management system across the Northeast. There's another vendor that just came on board and is going to do this review for Con Edison. So we're going to have two vendors come this year and look at a pipeline safety management system.
So that sounds like an excellent plan, Christian. Really good work so far, really important initiative. I would just like to emphasize for the folks that are listening, this is not new. It really is just a way of putting an umbrella over everything that we already do that supports a good, effective pipeline safety management, again, from the GERC and GDS and emergency response and our focus on response time, what we're doing in engineering with integrity management plans, root cause investigation, the operating error committee, all those things that we do and have been doing feed into this, and this is really just a means of making sure that we're being as comprehensive and deliberate and as methodical as possible, that we are improving everything that touches pipeline safety and public safety. I've shared many times that quality is a direct connection to public safety. That's obviously a piece of our pipeline safety management system components. Really nice talking to you this morning, Christian, and keep us posted on how this independent assessment goes. Really important initiative, really good work. Thank you.
Thank you.